Recording.
Hello.
Check. Oh, wait. Check.
There. Now do.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to an episode of the Tina and Anderson Show. And this is our first episode, but this is not the first one we recorded. They're kind of out of order. But we did this one first because we recorded one. That was the first episode. And
Where'd it go?
disappeared. So we'll explain more later, but we're just going to get on with the show. My name is Anderson. This is my wife, Tina. We've been a married couple for 21 years.
What were you going to say?
The year is right there. You could see it right there in the corner, 2003. Yeah, so 21 years we've been married. We've been together since we were, I was 12. You were 13.
We've been the older
so we've
woman.
been together for the long time, married for 21 years. We got 3 daughters. And we have decided to do a podcast like this where we talk about marriage, parenting, how we talk about how we are against feminism and the red pill, and how traditional marriage is a really good way to live out your marriage, because we believe that's how God intended us to live, and how married couples
Thrive.
Thrive, exactly.
Marriage
So we talk
to
about
thrive.
that. So we talk about that. We're as we have more and more episodes, you're going to see we're going to probably talk about articles, or probably going to talk about some statistics or something through we read in a book, Reddit stories, and TikTok videos or reels, which we're going to go through a reel today, and we're going to go through a Reddit post today that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But is there anything you wanted to add since this is our first episode?
No. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So we went through marriage counseling ourselves. And 1 second, it's our first episode, and I forgot to do one thing.
Oh, the lights. And we're back.
All right, that was just a slight break. We forgot that we have lights. We're pretty much set up a little tiny studio in our living room because we just don't have a studio.
We don't have another.
I don't have that kind of money. But yeah, so we're gonna we went. Oh yeah, as I was saying, we went through marriage counseling, and we also been through some marriage retreats, and we've just learned so much about marriage and how to understand each other and how we can better communicate. And that really has helped us in our marriage. We weren't on the brink of divorce. We weren't. But we had a lot of issues, like a lot of marriages do. And we've learned a lot. And it's just something that we've grown to be very passionate about, and that's why we started this podcast, because we just wanted to share our passion on marriage and parenting, and how we just feel like there's just a lot of negative out there, and a lot of that negative advice and information. We feel like it's really hurting people, hurting marriages.
There's so much info.
Yeah.
Now, because you're holding your phone in your hand,
Right.
And I mean, if you start following the wrong podcast, or you start following the wrong influencer,
Yeah.
you're gonna go off on a path that's, it's gonna hurt your marriage,
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt your
absolutely.
family, and it's just so toxic. So I guess we're here to
Yeah. We
We're
just
here
want,
to sort it all out.
yeah, we just want to share with you guys what we've learned, what we're passionate about, and there's probably gonna be a lot of you that really is not gonna like what we have to say.
But
And
we're
that's
gonna say it anyways.
that's okay. That's not a
That's
problem.
all right.
Not sure how long this episode is gonna be. We're probably gonna try to do them like in an hour. As we go further along and have more episodes, they might end up being longer, but we just don't know. So we don't know how long this one's gonna be. It might be 1 hour, it might be shorter. We don't know. Just because the only thing we really kind of had planned for this was the reel and the Reddit story. We're just gonna go into it, but I think the first one, there's gonna be like a lot to unpack, and I think you're really gonna be like, oh my god. So we'll just go into it.
We're just gonna get right into the
Yeah,
toxic.
we're just gonna get right into it.
Toxicness.
And follow us. You'll see our handles at the bottom. Tina's will be right there. Mine will be right there on the screen. So you'll see that. Follow us on Instagram. That's probably where we're mostly active, is Instagram. I am on Twitter, but I usually am on there just to find out DC movie news and Marvel movie news. But you can follow me there also. Not Twitter, X. Sorry, but
X.
yeah. So further ado, let's listen to this reel. That was.
Oh my god!
We had a light.
Bloopers.
We had a light that just kind of like went down.
Scared the bejesus out
But
of me.
I'm not gonna touch it. It seems it's fine.
Okay,
So.
it's fine.
All right, here we go. Reddit story. This is episode 1, guys.
This is
episode 1.
classic Anderson and Tina.
All right, here we go.
Nope.
That was the intro. Episode 1, everybody. Episode 1.
Oh my god.
Bear with us. All right, here we go.
Here we
So
go.
there's a few things that I don't do as a married woman. Number 1, I do not cook for my husband. I only cook for my children. My husband will be making his own breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Number 2, I do not help him pay any bills. So if he is short on the rent, on utilities, or anything like that, it is not my problem. I will not be helping him out. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills. Number 3, I do not do his laundry. I have my own laundry and my children's laundry to do, so he could do his own. I won't help him put it away. I won't help him fold anything. That's his responsibility. Number 4, he is responsible for replacing any of his essentials like soap, shampoo, anything like that. He needs to go buy it himself. Even if I'm at the store, I will not be replacing it for him. If he needs new underwear, new socks, or anything like that, that's for him to do. I'm not going to do it for him. I'm not going to enable a perfectly grown-ass adult, because then they get used to that shit. So, no.
Yeah, so yeah. So yeah, so it sounds like this is a wife that does nothing for her husband, and yeah, like you said, he's a roommate.
So, does he have the same list for you? Does he have things that maybe he could do for you? Because he's doing them for other people, and he could totally do it for you, but he's just not going to, because that's the rule.
See, this is
Like, you're cooking yourself and your kids dinner. Why in the world would you not make enough for him?
Yeah.
You're doing your laundry and your kids' laundry. First off, okay, when it comes to laundry, I mean, that's okay. So the entire thing has to be separate. The way that it's put into the hampers.
Yeah.
So he has his own hamper. She has her own hamper. If it was all put into one hamper, you would just be doing the laundry.
yeah.
Do you not share a room? I'm not understanding.
Now
Like, the way we have it set up, we have a hamper in our room.
I wonder if they also separate their bank accounts.
Oh, most definitely. I can't believe that did not come up.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, because she's basically saying she's not paying for anything for him. Do it yourself. So if you run out of toiletries, you need this, that, and you need shaving cream, you need toothpaste, like literally everything separate. Why are you married?
Yeah.
Why are you
yeah.
married? You are supposed to become one. You are a unit. You are one.
Yeah.
This is why you get married. You did not marry him to be your roommate. Like, it's literally a roommate. He's paying his stuff. She's paying her stuff. Everything's separate. But see, this is the problem. This is the problem when you have kids before your marriage. You see how
Yeah.
she said that
That's
she,
exactly what I was thinking.
all of this stuff she will do for her kids,
Yeah.
but she will not do for her husband. Why? Because she's probably thinking, well, he's not a kid. He can do it himself.
Right.
He most certainly can do his laundry himself. But why wouldn't you want to take that off of his shoulders? Like, you have decided to be married. I don't understand why couples work so hard to keep things so separate.
Yeah.
When you are married, why? Like, do you understand how much easier it would be if you just did one hamper in the bedroom and all the dirty clothes went into it, and when it got full, you just did the laundry?
Yeah, yeah, because there's one of the things that we're kind of missing here is, I don't think it matters much, is like, we don't know if she works and if she has her own money.
Yeah, we need some details.
You know, but if
it
she's,
seems like she has her own money.
But even, yeah, I think no matter what, whether the woman works or not, she should want to do these things for her husband, just like a husband would want to, mow the lawn for the family, fix anything that needs to be fixed in the house, snow blow the driveway, brush all the snow off of your car, so when you leave, you don't have to do that. Open the door for you.
I'm wondering if
take
she's
you
still
out and pay for
expecting all
dinner.
that. Is she still expecting all of that?
Right. So yeah. So I think a woman would want to, because that's the best way a woman can show love and respect to her husband, is by cooking him a meal, cleaning his clothes, doing the laundry, or when she does go grocery shopping, because you always text me. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Is there anything you want? Do you need anything?" Mm-hmm. Things like that. That's showing you care. That's showing you care. But when you are saying, "No, I'm not going to do his laundry. I'm not going to cook him dinner. I'm not going to pick him up anything for him at the grocery store," if you don't do any of that, you're basically showing you don't love him, and you just kept him so you can have kids and for financial stability, and it's really not what a man is. A man is not just to have kids and for you to have money. We're more than that. And for her to not realize that, it's really sad, and I really feel bad for her husband, because it's really sad, and what she really doesn't really realize is she's making him feel worthless, because she won't do any of this for him, and he's probably gonna go out at work and see and hear men talk about how their wives do this for them, and he's gonna be like, well, my wife doesn't do anything, and good to see how happy these other men are that their wives do this for him. And I'm not saying you should compare your marriage to other marriages, but I'm just saying because that's just naturally what comes, where that's really simple way to make a man happy. It's just by just doing these simple things for him.
Men are simple.
And it's just really, really sad that she's, and it's just like, and it's just her, the way she's saying it, she's just like, why would I do that? Like, with so much attitude.
So many people have that attitude. See, this is where we're going to lose some of our viewers. We believe in gender roles.
Yeah.
I think it is so blatantly obvious that a marriage works well when gender roles are acted out. Now, like, are there now that's not to say that, like, I never mow the lawn. I mow the lawn all the time.
Right.
But that's when I can see that your load is way too heavy, and I'm trying to relieve that off of your shoulders.
Now
That's-
people are going to be like, wow, she mows the lawn. You can't even mow the lawn. First
No,
of
no,
all,
no, no,
I've
no, no,
never
no.
told her to mow the lawn.
No.
I
Well,
mowed.
I'm
I have.
explaining.
Yeah.
I'm explaining.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm explaining.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not doing that because, like, I don't know, it's kind of like part of what I do within, like, our family structure.
Yeah.
I do it when I know it's going to take some weight off of your shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to get to it until whenever, Sunday, and it's growing out of control, and, like, it needs to be done. But, like, I know you're not going to be able to get to it until Sunday. So, like, I'm over here doing it on a Tuesday. You know, like, that's me literally trying to take some weight off of your shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, like that. So it's not to say like, oh, women should just be wearing dresses in the kitchen, and you know, you should never see.
Well, you could.
So, so like, clearly, whatever works works. You know, like I was just deathly ill a while ago, and what were you doing? Everything.
It wasn't COVID.
It wasn't COVID. It wasn't COVID. It was totally something else. But I was basically bedridden for like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
He did everything.
Yeah.
He wasn't sitting here like, well, what's for dinner? Like,
I was thinking about it.
No. So you pick up each other's slack.
Yeah.
But like on the weekly or on the daily, there are definitely certain things that we fall into. And that makes our day, our week, our month, our year run smoothly,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And for our case, it's super traditional gender roles because I stay home, you work. Like, we've got that, like, super traditional structure.
Right. Yep.
So for us, like, yeah, I manage the house. I manage the children.
Yeah.
You work outside the home. You're outside cutting wood, you know, with an axe. And like, I'm like tending to the garden. Like for us, we totally fall into like an extremely traditional, but you know, this is what works for us. And it's not that we haven't had a different structure before where I worked 40 hours a week. When Carissa was real little, we were both in college. Like, you know, but I guess we both had like the same goal, and this is the kind of structure that we saw for our marriage because we knew it was what would work the best.
Right. Yeah.
And am I ever going to sit here and tell a woman who has a career like you shouldn't be doing that because, you know, you should be doing it my way?
Yeah.
Like, no, but you cannot deny that there are certain gender roles that people fall into naturally.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, you women usually want to cook for their family. They love to cook for their family, and they love to see their family eating the food that they cooked for. I mean, are there men that cook? Yeah, there are men that cook, but it's mostly women. We're talking about the majority. We're talking about the norm. We're not talking about exceptions. Everybody wants to talk about an exception. No, we're talking about the majority. So when we talk about the majority, we always say most. Most men, most women. Most women are the ones that cook. You know, that's just how it is. Most of the men are the ones that mow the lawn, do the fixing. And, you know, when the car needs to get fixed, the men are the one that bring the car to the mechanic, or they try to work on it themselves. Are there women that can do that? Yes, but it's mostly men.
yeah, because
Mostly
that's what's natural. Men like to fix things.
Yeah.
Men like to, like, they feel like accomplishment
Right.
when they fix something, when they do something with their hands. Not that some women don't,
Yeah.
but a lot of the physical labor jobs are men.
Yeah.
And when it comes to cooking, mostly, like he said, mostly it's women because women cook to like feed their family,
Yeah.
this and that. a lot of chefs, professional chefs, are men, so they cook for income.
Yeah, when men cook, they want to do it. They want to do it for most men. When they cook, they want to do it for an income.
Like if they like to cook, they say, "Oh, maybe I could do this for a job."
Yeah.
Women are cooking like for their family, and
Yeah.
like we just said, that doesn't mean that we're saying that no women are chefs.
Right.
We clearly know, but the majority of times, this is how it naturally falls.
Right. Yeah.
You
yeah.
know,
And we know
men
that
like to
we know
do
there's
things
a
with their hands, and women
Yeah.
are the nurturers.
Yep.
We're managing the family. We're taking the kids to the appointments. Where, you know, like
Yeah.
it just happens naturally.
right. Right.
That's a natural thing.
Yeah, it's just how men and women are built. That's just how it is. And people always want to go against that. And that's fine. Look, we know married couples where they both have full-time jobs. They both have good careers. We know that. We know there are couples that they have good marriages. And we know we know a bunch of marriages where the men help cook, the men help do they do half the laundry, hey, and they're
Whatever
good,
works.
and they're good. But we're saying what comes natural to us is there is gender roles. I'm not when we say that, a lot of people think the man will never do laundry, the man will never cook cook food, the man will never do dishes. That's not what we're saying. It's just that's just what we fall into and what we're in charge of. I'm always in charge of doing stuff outside the house, and Tina's always in charge of doing stuff inside the house. Just that's just how we fall into it, and literally a lot of people just fall into that. It just happens.
So, if we're getting back to the video, see, this is the thing about social media and like these little clips of videos.
Yeah.
We're getting one side of the story.
Right.
We're getting one side.
Yeah.
Is he a happy husband?
Yeah.
Is the marriage a beautiful, wonderful marriage?
Yeah.
In beautiful, wonderful marriage land? Like, is he happy? Is she happy?
Yeah.
You're not getting the full, she's just making these claims. But it's like, how does that work out for your husband? Does he have no choice? Or like,
Yeah.
But does he also, like I said, does he also have a list of things that he will not do for you? And are you okay with that list?
Right.
Is he like, well, I'm not going to get the tires fixed. I'm not getting under the car, and I'm not doing the oil.
Right.
I'm not bringing the car to the mechanic. You do it.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the case. If she's not doing all that stuff for him, if he's like, oh, you need to get an oil change, all right, well,
Yeah,
you gotta
go
go do it. Oh, you got a flat tire, you better call the tow company and get that.
I'm not coming to help you.
And get it towed to a tire shop so you can get a new tire.
If both are doing this, if both are like, I'm never doing this for you and I'm never doing this for you, instead of having the attitude and the mentality of, I always want to be helping my spouse as much as I possibly can, then like how does that work? How does that work when your focus is the things that you don't want to do for your spouse?
Right.
How a marriage is supposed to, a wife is supposed to be the husband's helper. But it's not like that doesn't go the other way. Like, you are married. You are supposed to care so deeply about this person that you would never want to see them sink.
Right.
You would never want to see them fail. You would never want to see them fall. You
Right.
constantly lifting each other up. Constantly. That should be your goal. Okay? And then like what I said earlier about putting the kids before your marriage is never gonna be a good thing. She does all these things for her kids. I understand that, like, their children, we don't know how small they are. They probably can't cook for themselves, blah, 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 blah. But like that's putting the kids in a totally different category than your husband, and your marriage should be first, because when your marriage is first, it spills over into the kids. You're going to have a healthy marriage, you're going to have happy children, like that's just how it works.
Yeah.
If you put the kids first, what happens when the kids grow up and move out of the house?
You're strangers, two strangers.
You're two roommates living together.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's going to be issues. Why isn't, if you flipped that and she had a list of all the things that she loved to do for her husband,
Yeah.
like men,
They'll have an incredible marriage.
incredible marriage. All your sole purpose is to always make your marriage number one.
Yeah, well,
Then you're not going to fail. When you are constantly, tending to your marriage and
Right.
working on your marriage is not going to fail if you're both doing that, equally.
Yeah,
Not 50-50, 100-100.
Right, because what I think what a lot of couples lose sight of is like, remember when when we first were dating? I mean, we were kids. We were,
Dating. When we talk about dating, we're talking like 13 years old.
But say you meet you say when you met say you're a married couple, you met your spouse. That's our dog. Just in
That's
case
our
anybody's
dog.
wondering. Just in case anybody. Sorry. I'm losing track of thought because of our dog. All right. So for anybody that's married, so think about back when you were dating, whether it's in college, maybe high school, back when you were dating.
When you were courting each other.
What did the women usually do? They fall into their feminine.
Mm-hmm.
They become feminine. They become soft to attract him. And what does he do? He becomes masculine, right? He becomes masculine. He wants to, he wants to feel like he can provide,
Strength,
for her.
Provide.
And then they lose that once they get married.
When
She's
they
not
should be
falling into
holding on to it,
She's not
yeah.
falling into her feminine anymore. She's like bossing him around, and then the men go, "Oh, my wife's the boss. Oh, ask her. She makes the decisions in the house. I just open my wallet for her. Oh, that's what I do.
Yep.
She makes the
Happy
decisions."
wife, happy life.
I'm all right. For people that don't know, I'm an electrician. Some people might hate me for this, but I'm just saying this because it's a fact, and this is what happened. Okay, I worked for myself for a couple of years. I did a job where I was wiring a whole house. The wife was making all the decisions. She's the one that I spoke to, not the husband. The only time I always spoke to the husband is when he was telling me where he wanted me to run the speaker wires for his system, for his speaker system. Mm-hmm. Right? Guess what happened? She overspent. Right?
She screwed up the whole project.
She made changes that cost more money, right? And they ended up really spending way more money than he wanted to. And then
it was literally out of control.
Contractors being fired, contractors being changed. And when he took over, it ended up going smoothly because he was like, "This is what we're doing. This is it. This is what we're doing. If there's any changes we want to make, we will do it later because right now this is our budget." Are all women like this? No, but I'm just saying this is what happened. So men are the leaders. Men men are better at making decisions. Do I make decisions without my wife? No. But I'm just explaining that's how men are, because women are thinking a mile a minute, all these different things. Well, what if we do this? Well, what if we do this? Where a man's like, pick one, and that's what we're doing. So I'm just saying, if she fell into a feminine, right, and was just like, "Honey, let's build this house. I want to design, but I want you to be part of this. I want you to and lead it," where she can talk to him about what she wants. He leads the way and talks to the contractors. I'm not saying she can't, but I'm just saying he should lead he leads the way.
She couldn't.
He leads the way. So I'm just saying that's just an example what I'm doing. And when it comes to let's talk about that for a second, making decisions. I think we probably talked about that. We recorded so many episodes. I don't know if I'm repeating myself.
Oh, we're definitely going to repeat ourselves.
I don't know if you're going to hear it on episode 2 and episode 3 because we're recording this after episode 2 and 3. So but when we're making decisions, it's like you like for like when we bought this house. I know you've heard me say this many times, whether it's with people or on another video we did. But when we bought this house, right? I was always thinking is, how much it cost, is it going to be a big fixer upper and things like that. Well, what she was thinking is, how's the neighborhood? Can I see my family here? Is it safe? How are the schools? Right. So that's what she thinks.
Crime.
So I need her to think like that because I don't. I think the other things, but she needs me to think the way I think because she doesn't think that way. Because if it was just my decision, we'd probably be living in a small little box, right? That's cheap. If it was her decision, we'd probably be living in a house that's 3 times the size that we have, and I'd be working
way too
and
expensive.
I'd be working 100 hours a week to pay for it.
Yeah, see,
so that's why we come together. So we looked at this house and I said, hey, it's a good price. I can afford it. It needs a little bit of love and some cosmetic work, but it's stuff that we can do. And she was like, I love the neighborhood. The schools are good. I can see us raising the family here. It's a cute house. I love it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I made the decision, let's buy the house. But she is the one that helped me make the decision. It's not I made the decision without her. So that's just the thing. And she looked to me. She looked to me to do that. There was a video of a couple that is they travel in an RV. And there was a scene where their car their RV caught on fire. What did she do? She looked to her husband and she said, what do we do? What do we do? Because when things hit the fan, women look to their husbands. What do we do? What do we do? They should be able
to. Like, when bad things happen, like in your life, I need to be able to look at you and see strength.
Yeah.
I don't want to look to you while I'm melting down and watch you melt down too.
Yeah.
Like, this is why, you can't deny the fact that men carry more on their shoulders.
Right.
Because they do. They need to be the strength in their family. They need to be the leader. They need to be final decision.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't make any decisions without me. Like,
he's
the head, I'm the neck.
Yeah, even though women could be like, we work too, we bring home the income, but you don't understand, men are treated different at work than women are. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. When I've been on construction sites where it's all men, and then the super of the site tells us, hey, we got a woman working tomorrow. The whole site changes.
The whole site changes.
Everybody is different.
Yeah, because
when a woman comes, because
you have to be.
Because we have to be more careful. We have to. It's a female. It's different. We have to act different. We have to make sure we mind her. It's different. Women are treated different in the workplace than men are. I'm telling you, that's just how it is. So, going back to that video, I know we went all over the place.
Yeah, but this is what we do.
But that's just how this is how the podcast is going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with back to his gender roles, I mean, she's just ignoring it, doesn't want to take care of her husband. She's just like, hey, he's a grown man. A lot of women are like that. He's a grown man. He can do that. Why can't he do it
himself?
That's not the point. It's not the point.
He can clearly do his own laundry.
I know. Like our daughters are. Our youngest daughter is 15. They all can cook for themselves, but you still cook for them. And a lot of moms are the same way. When their kids are adult, they'll still cook for them, but they won't do it for their husband. It just makes no sense.
And they'll do these type of things for their boss.
Yeah,
they work for a man.
They submit to their boss.
They submit to their boss, but they won't submit to their husband.
Yeah.
That's another topic that needs to be brought up.
Yeah, we'll be talking. Yeah, but we'll be talking about. I mean, we went all over the place. I want to get to the Reddit story.
No, but she's literally like, I'm never going to submit to my husband.
Yeah,
and that has such a bad rap attached to it that, yeah, you totally need like a whole nother video.
Right. We'll go deeper into it. We'll go deeper
It's
into it.
not what you think it means. If you don't
Yeah.
know what it means to be a wife and submit to your husband,
It's
then you
submitting
need
to the
look
leadership.
It up.
It's
Yes.
submitting to the leadership. It's not.
But
It's
also,
not being a slave.
No, it's not. It's not like, oh, your husband controls you.
Right.
It's having the peace of mind as a wife
Right.
to know that you married a man that you fully trust.
Yeah.
That you fully trust with final decision. He bounces things off of me. And let me tell you, if I'm like, we cannot do this, he's not going to do it. He's
Right.
not going to go, I override you, I'm the man, sit down. Like, that's not how this works, because there is
Yeah.
a respect there. You know, there's
Right.
a full respect back and forth from the both of us. But he's not, you know, like, it's not that submitting to your husband has such a bad rap. The people hear that and they're like, oh, you're a slave. He beats you and makes you do things.
Yeah.
Like, it's not it. And
No.
anybody who has ever encountered us and would think that that's how our marriage is just because I say that I submit to him is just denying their own eyes and ears,
Yeah.
because they know that that is not our marriage. We've been together for a long time. I wouldn't be with this man if that's what
Yeah.
was going on. Like, it's not. So what
Yeah,
the
it's
video,
biblical.
it's biblical, and you would literally need to like get into the Bible to, you know, see exactly what
Right.
does it
I
mean
won't
when
go into
God
that.
says, you know, women submit to their husband because the
Yeah.
husband submits to God.
Right.
You know, so you can trust his leadership. To have that kind of a trust
Right.
in a man relieves so much anxiety, so much stress off of the woman, you know, because men are built to naturally be able to handle more stress than women.
Yeah.
It's just natural.
That's why we die sooner.
That's why men die
Yeah.
sooner.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because there's more stress on the heart or whatever. But yeah, that's what she's saying in the video.
Right.
I will never submit to my husband.
Right.
'Cause that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is just sad. It's sad to see that. It's just really, really sad, just because she wasn't smiling at all in that video. So it's just like,
Yeah.
is she even happy?
Well, you see, that's the thing.
I know
like
you mentioned that.
Like, yeah, these little videos, you don't get all the details of like, oh, and does your husband love this?
Right.
Does he love this about his marriage? If you were sitting down with a therapist and you were talking about this and you were like, oh, he loves this, would he agree with you? Or would he want to talk about it with the therapist because no, he doesn't like it?
Right.
Like, no, it's not working for our
Right.
marriage. Like,
Right.
you get this little tiny video of her saying all the things she will not do for her husband instead of saying all the things that she loves doing for her husband, because I'm sure her husband has a list of things that he loves doing for her.
Right. Yeah.
It's a give and take here. Like,
Yeah. Well, let's get
okay, skipping over to the
yeah,
Reddit video.
We're gonna get onto this Reddit story.
Segue.
And I think there's an update at the end of this Reddit story. So let's
All right, can we
let's
read
go.
all of it? Are you going to be able to see it?
Yeah, I'll be able to read it. All right, so you know what? I'm just gonna read it off of my phone.
Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. Is it gonna be big enough?
Yeah, no, I'll be able to read it. So it's on the screen for all of you guys to see, but I'm just gonna read it off my phone. All right, so this Reddit story says my husband is very fixated on me getting a job. Okay. So I have a great husband. He is very supportive, loving, great father, but is frugal and has always been. Financially, we can afford me being stay-at-home mother and live well on his salary alone. As I am approaching the end of my medical training, which is a paid position, I have been in for the past 5 years, working 60 to 80 hours a week. Wow, good for you. That's a lot. He is becoming more and more obsessed about me finding a job ASAP and keeps repeating that it's not a big deal if I find it now or in a couple of months. LOL, thank you for that. I graduate in 2025. So that's next year. I sometimes feel like I am well thought I'm a well thought investment. It is beyond annoying as I am pregnant and I have a toddler and would really appreciate him leaving me alone. I brought it up and it seems like he does not see it any other way. How do you communicate that I'd appreciate a short gap as most of the colleagues, even single ones, had? So, I mean, if he can afford for you both to stay home, I would say, I mean, I would really talk to him and be like, "What?" I would really want to know why. What is the reason? Is it the money? Because she's working 60, 80 hours a week. Is he liking the money? The extra money?
So, okay. I'm trying to piece together the story itself. She's pregnant. She's talking about maternity leave. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. So she's going through medical training and it's paid. And she is pregnant. They have a toddler. And she's working 60, 80 hours a week and you're pregnant? Wow. That's amazing.
Much.
That's amazing. I would not want you working that many hours when you're pregnant. Maybe she is because she just wants to have the baby sooner. I don't know. But yeah, I'm thinking it's the money. I'm thinking he's liking the money she's bringing in.
So she's upset that. What does she want, like an extended maternity leave? And he's like, you need to get back to work.
She probably wants to stay home and take care of the kids.
Okay.
But
why is she going through like more training at work then?
I don't know. Maybe it's that's what she didn't explain. See, that would be good for us to know. Why, why, if you want to stay home, why did you go through this medical training? Why did you do this? Maybe she was already a nurse and she was going through this medical training to elevate her, her licensing. I'm not sure how it goes. Maybe she was a certified nurse's aide and now she wants to be a registered nurse. I don't know how that goes. If you do, tell us in the comments. But I don't know. But so this is a lot of this is just assumption because we don't have the whole story here.
Yeah, the story's like this big.
Right. So I think it's some, but yeah. So she probably, now that she's pregnant, they probably found out she was pregnant during this medical training, and she's probably thinking, hey, we're gonna have 2 kids. I would want to stay home with the 2 kids.
So the way I see it is they have set their life up according to 2 incomes.
Well, she did say they can live off of one. I mean, maybe she thinks that and he doesn't.
I don't think that's the fact, because why else would he be so adamant for her to hurry up and get back to work?
Yeah.
I think he's foreseeing some issues.
I think they really need to really get together. I think they really need to get together without the kids. Maybe go out and grab coffee or have dinner and really discuss this and just, really find out what is the reason. Why do you think she has to work? And if he explains, maybe she should explain to him, this is why I think I should stay home. Maybe she just wants to stay home for maybe several years until both kids are going to school, and then she can go to work. Maybe go back to work. There are moms that do that, or and there are moms that just they stay home until the kids are in college, and then they go back to work. There are moms that do that too. Maybe that's what she wants to do, and I think if that's what she wants to do, as a man, you need to figure out a way for her to be able to do that. That's what I think. And if you set your life up where you are living off of 2 incomes, you're gonna have to start making some sacrifices because you're gonna lose an income. I think what they probably should have done ahead of time, and if she's still pregnant, if they could still do this. I mean, she graduates next year. It's just stack up money. Start living off of just your income, and anything she brings in, you just put it in the bank and just save it. Just save it. Save it for make an emergency fund, or save it for, to buy a bigger car, whatever it is. But I think as a man, if you and your spouse both work, and when she gets pregnant and she wants to stay home, you got to figure that. You got to figure out a way. I think that's something that most couples or all couples need to talk about when they get married.
Like, what's the plan?
If we have a
kid, stay home with the kids.
If we have a kid, do you want to stay home? This is something you both want to know ahead of time, even if she's not sure. If she's not sure, know that you gotta work towards that, because sometimes women are not sure, but once they're pregnant, or once that baby is in their arms, they don't
want anybody else to raise it. They want to raise the baby.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Did it say that they had other kids? Was
there
a toddler?
They have a toddler.
Okay, so they have one other kid.
Yeah, so maybe she's thinking it was okay with one kid. Now that we're going to have two, I have to stay home.
See, and he has watched her be able to work all these hours.
Right.
And have one kid. But what he is not thinking of is that 2 kids is a game changer.
Yeah.
Completely. You're like, oh, we did it once, we can do it again.
Right.
It's the same thing with the pregnancy. Oh, I've done it once, I can do it again. Totally different pregnancy.
Right.
Totally different thing. It's the same thing. Like, having 2 kids is completely different than just having one.
Yeah.
So I feel like he would see a different wife if she had to sit here and work 80 hours a week and have 2 children, as opposed to having a wife that gets to stay home with their kids, and he made sure he could make that happen.
Right.
He's going to see 2 totally different wives.
Right, yeah.
And he's going to see 2 totally different lives. Like, this is how your life would be if, the mother of your child has to work 80 hours a week and have 2 children, or the opposite. She gets to stay home and raise her kids. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. She's got her career. Clearly, she's worked on her career.
Yeah.
To get her where she is. She was making gains and doing training and everything to, work her way up.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe she would stay home and decide that she wants to go back to work. Who knows? But, like,
we've known women that did that.
I think that she is knowing what it was like to have one kid, and she's seeing it with 2, and like she's totally seeing that, like, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And he's seeing, like, she's she's super mom. Look at what she did. We had one kid, and look at what she did. Like, slow down a second.
Yeah.
Slow down a second.
Right.
And really think of, like, all the details.
He probably is thinking that. He's probably thinking, like, wow, look at my wife.
Yeah.
She's a mom.
She's
working
mom.
60, 80 hours a week. This is amazing. And she's like, I want to stay home. And he's like, what do you mean? What? Look at what all you were able to do.
Yeah,
what are you
you were
talking
able
about?
to do it one.
But
Why can't you do it 2?
But I also think he's gonna miss the money. I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
He's gonna. I mean, she's a nurse. She's making good money. He's gonna miss, and then knowing with this training, she's probably gonna get a good bump in pay. He's gonna be like, we're gonna miss out on this money. I'm sorry, bro, but like, having your wife stay home and raise your kids is way better than having that extra income. It's way better than being able to buy that boat or that motorcycle. It's like, bro, you got to make sacrifices. And in the end, when you see your kids raised, and when you seeing your kids raised and you see them grown and become amazing human beings because they were raised by their mother, and they were home with their mom, you could just be like, it was all worth it. And then, in the future, you're going to look, I want a boat. I want a boat one day.
He wants to travel.
But
we
I
go
can't
to
have
Maine for vacation.
But I can't have one right now because I'm the only income. We're raising a family.
We got the house.
If I can't get a boat until I'm 65, I'm cool with it.
It's all right.
I'm fine because I'd rather my wife to be able to do what she has to do than me going out and get a boat, and she has to go back to work.
Yeah, you gotta
You know?
you gotta look at the priorities.
Yeah,
you have to prioritize.
Yeah.
There was things that we had to do when I started staying home, because
Right.
I mean, I went to college.
Yeah.
I was in what I thought was like my career, and I had plans like, oh, when we buy the house, like I'll just do a daycare in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, like many things happened over the course of time that made that not a reality. But so I went to college. I was thinking I was creating a career, and just when I started to see that, like, I'm taking care of other people's kids and missing out time with my kids while having to stick them in daycare and pay for it, does it all really add up?
Yeah.
Does it all really add
That's
up?
the
Does
thing.
it
You're
make
paying all
sense?
this. Daycare is
We're
expensive.
paying for it, even with like some sort of a discount or whatever. They're paying
Yeah.
you, and then you're giving the money right back to them.
Yeah.
Because I had, what I have 3.
Yeah. Mine was there.
By the end, I had 3
Carissa
kids.
did the after school.
Yeah, the after school
And Lana
program.
and Maya were in the daycare.
Yeah, so we had 3 kids in daycare. We were basically, I was getting paid, and then I was giving it all back to
Yeah.
them. So does it make sense? So we had to start really looking at all of the details of our life and how we have it structured, and does it make sense? And I had told him, like, I really just want to stay home with
Yeah.
my kids. I just want to raise my kids. I'm sick of watching other people raise my kids, and I'm raising somebody else's kids and getting paid for it. But when we're doing the same kind of care for our own kids, we don't get paid for it. But if we're doing it for somebody else, it's a job, and
Right.
whatever, you get paid. But
Yeah.
so there was things that we had to totally sacrifice.
Yeah,
We
a
went
lot.
through some really bad times, tough times. And that wasn't even necessarily when I wasn't working anymore. A lot of our tough
Yeah.
times, we were both working 40 hours a week or
Right,
more.
Yeah.
With the 3
Yeah.
kids,
That
or
was
at least
before I was in the career that I'm in
at
now.
least 2 kids. See, this is what bouncing ideas off of each other can do
Yeah.
for your marriage, because you came to me and was like, I think I want to go to school for this.
Yeah.
Imagine if I was like, no.
I'll be like, why?
Like, but why? You
wanna
want me to
live
work
in-
in a call center for the rest of my life?
You want to live in poverty still?
Yeah, you want to live in low-income housing for forever? Is
Yeah.
that what you wanted to do?
Yeah. So let's go over the update. There is an update. So,
Update?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
is there his side of the story?
She did post an update, so we'll finish off with that. All right. So, I'm sorry. It's not an update. It's an edit. She goes, "Thank you
Oh.
for your response. I must also note that my plans on maternity leave stem from interview experiences so far. As I show up visibly pregnant, there is definitely less desire to employ me. So more competitive, better lifestyle options tend to not want me. Options were I'd have a crappy lifestyle for foreseeable future. Sure, with my first, I pumped every 2 hours, commuted for an hour to work, and back while pumping.
See, she's-
mentally broken down like 5 months into this due to sleep deprivation.
She's thinking
And
of doing this with 2.
And
It's
I have
not gonna be
a highly cognitive job, so she has to be on her toes.
Sharp. She has to be sharp.
Yeah. Oh yes, and never got to breastfeed. I mean, sure, let's do it again, but I think the cost of my therapist might exceed the cost of my maternity leave.
Yep.
Yeah. So see? It's a more of a mental load when you're at work and you have a newborn. I'm pretty sure your mind is on your newborn. I'm pretty sure.
It was horrible. So, like I just said, I worked in daycares, and I'm in the toddler room. I'm watching everybody else's kids, and my child is in like the room across the hall, and
Yeah.
I can't go see her. Maybe on my break,
Yeah.
like I can't. She's right there. she's right there. Like I'm right here. She's right there. It just sucked. And
Yeah.
then like when Maya started, she was she in the infant room, or
Yeah.
she started as a toddler?
No, she was an infant. Yeah.
I think she was like an older infant, and then she
Yeah.
went over to the toddler room. So I've got my little baby there.
Yeah.
And like, even going to see her, like, okay, I can go see her on my lunch break, but when I go to give her back to her teacher, like, she's gonna cry. I'm gonna want to cry. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this will be so awesome. You know, I got my kids with me in the building and this and that. It was kind of more torture. So
Yeah, it's easier for the men. It's easier for us men. Obviously, we miss our babies. We got a new baby. We always also, obviously, but the baby didn't come out of us.
it's not that bond.
So that attach, yeah,
the
exact-
mother and
bond.
baby has that
We
bond.
don't have that bond that the mother and the baby have. We don't. We're on high. We're just like, oh my God. For men, the mode we get into is protective. We're like,
Provide.
we want to make sure mom is okay so mom can take care of baby. That's our focus. Anything mom needs, we will do it and we will get it done. Mom needs to rest, we'll watch the baby so mom can rest. Like we get into that provider protective mode. It's like more in us when the baby comes. Mom is just nurturing, wants to make sure the baby's okay, and our job is to make sure mom's okay. So leave it like so that's why it's easier for us to go to work and leave the baby, because when we're at work we're providing. And that makes us want to work hard. We're like, I'm going to work harder now because
I
now
have this family.
Now I don't just have a wife. Now I have a kid. Like our family's grown. Like it's just in us. It's just that drive is just in us. But for the women to go out and provide while their baby is home, it's harder. It's a lot harder.
So with this story, I'm wondering, like, does she tell him these things and is like, I'm not going to be able to mentally handle this. I'm seeing and I'm picturing in my head what my life is going to be like with two, and it's not going to work the way we have it set up right now, and I'm not going to mentally be able to take it. And he's still like, you have to work, because that would be wrong, because like you just said, you're supposed to always be like studying each other, literally.
Yeah.
Like, if I can see that he's about to break down, if I can see that he's got too much going on, I should want to relieve pressure wherever I can, and then the same goes for him. If he sees me struggling, he's going to want to jump in and try to relieve any stress, anxiety, anything like that.
Yeah.
So if she's like, I'm not mentally going to be able to do this, and he's like, I don't care, go back to work, then yeah.
Well,
That's not okay
what also
either.
is she explaining to him by yelling it at him, or is she?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you both can, just go somewhere without the toddler. You need no distraction. Have your toddler, or if you want to stay home, have your toddler sleep over your mom's house or something, and sit down, have some coffee, or go someplace that is relaxing. Maybe go out for a walk in your favorite park, or go to the beach if you live near close to a beach. Go somewhere where you both can be calm and it's a nice setting, and just explain to him, like, babe, I understand you like the extra money that I make, and I really would love to make that extra money. I really would love to help with that with the family, and just explain this is how it was with the first one. Now we're gonna have two. It's really gonna be hard for me, and just explain everything to him, and then hear his side, but talk to him calmly. Men will not talk to you defensively if you don't talk to them defensively. If you talk to him calmly and just in a loving way, just say, hey, I understand where you're coming from, but this is where I'm coming from. He's gonna talk back to you calmly.
And
A rational man will.
And I think a lot of women say stuff like, well, he should know.
Yeah, no,
Like, don't expect
because we
him.
we don't know.
They don't. They literally don't. Like, don't expect him to be reading your mind, or, I mean, should red flags go up when mom is like about to lose it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should guys are going to notice that because, they want to protect you.
Right.
They don't want to see you like that. But you cannot expect them to read your flipping mind.
Right.
Like, they are not mind readers.
No.
And they do not think like we do. Women and men think totally different about the same situation.
Right.
About the same situation going on right in front of your face. He's thinking of it totally different than me. So you can't expect him to just know that you're not going to be able to handle it, and he should already know these things,
right?
And be upset with him for not coming to you with it. Like, you should be coming to me like, oh no, we're going to have 2 kids. Then no, you shouldn't be working.
Right.
You shouldn't be working.
I mean,
they're not
all
mind
women
readers.
would want their men to be like that. All women would want their
because
men.
we don't understand,
Yeah.
why aren't you thinking the way I'm thinking?
Right.
But if you read any books,
Yeah, because
men don't think the way that women do about the same situation that you're looking at right in front of your face.
Right, because when you were working, I never said to you, you should stay home. You came to me, you called me crying. And, obviously I knew, okay, if she's not going to work, that's the extra money we're going to lose. But, I wanted you to not go crazy at work. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather lose the money if you're going to be sane than have the money and you go insane.
Well, and then the way we had things structured too, were you still working nights? Either that or you were just off of it. And we had just gone through that. I would come home from work, you would go to work. I would have kids all day.
Okay, no, yeah.
Remember, I would have kids all day at daycare because I worked at the daycare, and I'd be watching babies and toddlers.
I remember
8 hours a day, and then I would come home to my own children, and if I was lucky, get dinner on the table by 7. And he's going to work. We were just missing each other.
Yeah,
there.
I think I probably was still working nights.
It was a mess.
we were already struggling, so I'm like, hey, we're gonna struggle. But I was an apprentice at the time, and we knew it wasn't gonna last forever, and it didn't. And so we made that sacrifice.
The fire's going out.
Yeah, we're almost done. So so we made that sacrifice, and it was a tough sacrifice because we went through a lot of crap. We went through a lot of junk, and and it was hard. It was hard, but we learned a lot of lessons. We learned what not to do, and I think it really built our character. It really made us appreciate things a lot more. And
there was a lot of things that basically is if you guys get through this, it's only going to strengthen your marriage.
Right. So so I think even if it's for a season, if she doesn't, it seems like she's not saying she never wants to work again. That's what it seems like. And if that's the case, I think she should just tell him, just for now, I want to stay home with the kids. And then talk about it, maybe a few years. In a few years, talk about it again.
Then you'll have to restructure
at that time, he could have a pay increase. He might get a promotion. He could be making more money. And it could be like, hey, babe, if you don't want to go back to work, I got you. It's fine. Because, what most men, when they get into fight or flight mode and they're like, I got to work harder now. It's all up to me. And that might activate that in him, and you don't know. And then, if you want to go back to work, maybe it's because you're bored all day. Who knows?
Yeah, some stay home and realize that they really don't like it.
Yeah,
it's not their thing. And then they want to go back, but. Just like if you want to stay home, you have to restructure things. In order for you to go back to work, you're going to have to restructure things. You can't just go back to when you have kids in a home and whatever. So there has to be massive communication there and a plan,
Yeah.
But some are just oh, I'll stay home until they're 1 or whatever, and then decide like, no, I really like I'm, you know, maybe until they're old enough to stay home by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like when they're teenagers
Yeah.
and they can, you know, come home and they start driving maybe.
Yeah,
But,
could
you
be
know,
that, yeah.
like it hits people differently. I
Yeah.
mean, I wanted so badly to stay home. 'Cause like I said, like I was really sick of,
No, it worked out really well for us.
I was really sick of raising other people's kids and taking away time from my kids
Yeah.
so I could raise somebody else's kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really did work out for us. I mean, we went through our struggles and everything, but in the end, it definitely did, worked out for us. And we know other couples. We know other couples too, where the wife stays home, and it's worked out really well for them.
and we
So-
know couples that they stayed home and now the kids are older and they work.
Yeah, yeah,
The
exactly.
mom, now the mom works, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, for me, I mean, just another little added detail to our life is that we have a daughter with a disability.
Yeah.
So it really worked out for me to be able to, because that's just an added
Yeah,
stress on both of us, but an added, definitely an
Yeah.
added stress on me. So having that and then having to work and work out schedules and blah, blah,
yeah.
blah.
No, it
I
definitely
mean,
makes it convenient.
yeah.
They stay home.
especially now, like
Yeah.
even more so now when she's older, you would think like, oh, you know, I have a teenager and then I've got two that are out of school. So like, oh, my schedule's freed up. No,
No,
it is not.
Yeah.
I got stuff like smack dab in the middle of the day. And
Yeah.
so that's
Still a
just,
lot.
yeah, that's just another added detail to why, like the way we have structured our life, this is why it works for us. I have no clue what we would have done if our life, like if we couldn't afford this house without me, like we couldn't afford
Yeah.
it unless I worked.
life would be definitely hard.
It would
definitely
be hard
really
because
yeah.
I don't know how I would work in all the things for our daughter and everything
Yeah.
like that. So, like I said, it's, you know, this is why it's important for your husband to follow God, because he submits to God. He brings everything to God. So the decisions that we have made, he's final decision, and it has led us to where we are, where our life is structured this way, and it's perfect.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it's perfectly set up for what, you know, is going on in our lives right now.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Our lives could always be better, no matter what. You know?
Hey, what are you
But
saying there?
We're happy. We're happy where we are because we're not
We
where
have a
we
good
were.
life.
We're not where we were.
We're not where we were.
Believe me, we're definitely very thankful.
No, but you should always be working
Yeah.
you should
No,
always
yeah.
be working for something bigger, something
One of
better.
the reasons why we're doing this podcast.
One of the reasons, and like, you
So,
know,
yeah.
constantly working on your marriage,
Yeah.
constantly working individually on yourselves, but never putting, you know, so many things before your marriage.
Yeah.
Because that's leaving space in your marriage for something to come in and destroy it.
Exactly.
So,
that's why the only thing.
Don't leave space.
The only one you could let into your marriage is Jesus. That's it. He's the only one you should let into your marriage because he's the one that can set you both straight. Set us both straight. You know what I mean?
Know what
So
I mean?
yeah. So thank you guys for listening to our first episode of the Tina and Anderson Show. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can know when the next episode is going to be on. Our plan is to just release this once a week on Tuesdays, and on audio and video and audio on YouTube and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And thank you if you're still listening to us and until this end. Thank you for hanging out with us for this hour, and we hope to see you guys next week on the next hour. So anything else you want to say?
No, just it's gonna, you know, it's always gonna be kind of something different, but like structured around the same.
Yeah.
You know, we're a married couple, so it's like our perspective of
Yes.
situations and things going on in society, and you know, just bringing it all back to like our perspective as a married couple that's been together since we were in middle school. So,
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Peace.
peace.